diamonds in South Africa losing their sparkle. Listen to these numbers. Before 2023, the country producing an average of 8.5 million carats a year, hitting a peak of just over 10 million in 2022. Sales amounting to something in the region of 28 billion rand. So what's the picture now? I'm joined by Lyndon de Melong, who is South African Diamond Producers Organisation Vice Chairperson. And firstly then, Lyndon, welcome. And what are the primary reasons then for the sharp decline that we're witnessing?
Jeremy, I think we need to look at the diamond industry in South Africa as two parts. We essentially have two diamond sectors in South Africa. We have the large-scale kimberlite mines operated by public companies like De Beers and Petra. And then you have the smaller and junior sector comprised mainly of private alluvial diamond mining companies operating in Northwest and the Northern Cape. Now, we must understand that we have been mining diamonds in South Africa since the late 1860s for around 160 years. And all the known and high-grade and easily accessible deposits have been mined. Our kimberlite mines are relatively deep underground mines with high costs, and our youngest world-class kimberlite mine, Venetia, which, by the way, produces about 40% of our production, have also transitioned to underground operations lately. Now, as these mines get deeper, it becomes more and more difficult to achieve historical production volumes, and you see the carats produced becoming less and less. Now, since the discovery of Venetia in about 1980, no significant new diamond deposits have been discovered in South Africa, and South Africa has also not been seen as an attractive exploration or investment destination of late. So these are the main reasons for the larger mines not producing as they used to. Now, we also have the smaller sector, the small and junior mining sector, that's comprised of about 99% private operators. Most of these deposits are situated in rural areas near small towns like Douglas, Prieska, Bloemhof, Schweizer-Reneke, Wolmaranstad. Those areas where unemployment is at least double the country average. Now, they play a crucial role in the economies of these small towns and are, next to agriculture, probably the main employers in that area. They, however, mine low-grade, high-risk deposits, and as such are very cash flow sensitive. Now, since the Minerals and Petroleum Development Act was promulgated in 2000, the number of operators in this junior sector have declined by 80%. A study done by the Aon Institute of the Nelson Mandela University years ago have shown that the main reason for this was the cost of compliance to mining regulations. Now, in terms of volumes being produced, South Africa, 2023, I think the latest estimate is about 6 million tons, down about 3 million tons from the previous years. The alluvial guys produce about 350,000 carats of this, which is about 4%, but they bring in 25% of the revenue of the total of 20 billion. So they produce a much better quality diamond from the alluvials than the kimberlites produce, but the carats are a lot less.
Lyndon, that's a very comprehensive answer. It sounds to me as if the industry is in trouble, and I'm wondering if you have a survival strategy.
The production is declining because of the nature of our deposits. But then we also have a very big crisis in the industry at the moment in terms of prices. Now, there are several reasons what has happened in the past couple of years, and they've all combined to sort of form a perfect storm for the diamond industry currently. Firstly, we are still dealing with the impact of COVID. During COVID, as with most commodities, diamond prices dropped dramatically, but at the same time, production was also stopped for a period. But during the post-COVID euphoria, prices spiked and production was ramped up by all the producers. Now, much of this production hit the market around the time of the Russia-Ukraine invasion, and the political and economic uncertainty it created with that was not good for the market. At the same time, the USA and Europe was battling with high inflation and was raising interest rates. And hard-hitting consumers now started to look more at lab-grown diamonds, which are visually identical to natural diamonds but cost significantly less. The latest estimates are that more than 50% of diamonds sold in the USA bridal sector this year will probably be lab-grown diamonds. Although the natural diamond sector in India shows positive signs, China has been a huge disappointment, and it probably will take a while to recover as conservative Chinese consumers invest in gold rather than diamonds. Thirdly, the advent of e-commerce also meant that jewelers now have to keep a much smaller inventory of diamonds. Many jewelry companies also have now direct links with mining companies, and the diamond pipeline have been shortened dramatically. The net effect of this is that we are sitting with a glut of natural diamonds in a shortened pipeline, and with consumers still under duress, it's probably going to take some time to work itself out. This is probably the biggest crisis in the industry in the past 100 years.
So how is the industry addressing that then? What's the plan?
Well, what we have seen is that the larger producers have started to cut production. But yeah, the diamond industry is known for being slow to react and then also to overreact. If the current prices persist for much longer, I think we'll see some of the larger mines having to really cut costs, and they'll really be struggling, and some of them might even start to close. Although we've seen dips like this in the past, like during the 2008 economic downturn and COVID, these were generally V-shaped dips, but this reduction in prices started about a year ago, and I don't think we are really at the bottom of it.
So if the trajectory continues then, Lyndon, what's the outlook for jobs?
Jeremy, we're already seeing a severe impact on the smaller industry in South Africa. There's been quite a few liquidations. There's blood on the street at the moment in the small industry in South Africa, and it's going to have the same impact on the larger players as well. We're probably seeing prices at about COVID levels now, which was already 40% down on pre-COVID levels. Latest prices in some sectors are even 10% down from COVID levels. So, and at these prices, very few operations can still survive. In terms of the longer term, I think natural diamonds still have a very bright future. Demand will exceed supply as in the long term, as there's been no significant large discoveries in the past few decades. And as the middle class in countries like India and China keeps on growing, demand will continue to grow. The lab-grown issue, I think, will also start to reduce. The price of lab-grown diamonds are plummeting at the moment, and it will soon reach a point that they will come too cheap for consumers to see as an emotional or a celebratory purchase, and they will start to move back to natural diamonds. The Beers and Natural Diamond Council are also spending a lot more money on advertising, on promoting natural diamonds, and the traceability issue has now also come to the fore. It has become very important as the US and European Union have placed a ban on Russian diamonds. And this will also give consumers confidence that the diamond that they are buying are from a legitimate origin, and they will even be able to see the benefit of their purchase to communities where the stone was mined.
All right. Lyndon de Mailan, thank you very much indeed for a very frank and forthright assessment. I do appreciate your time today from the South African Diamond Producers Organisation Vice Chairperson. Thank you. And just before I close the programme today, on our last online poll, I asked about more private sector involvement in the freight and logistics space. That certainly was the indication that we got from the Transport Minister when I spoke to her yesterday. The question to you was, finally, is this too little too late, or are you adopting a wait-and-see attitude? And the majority of our respondents to the poll saying, finally, the light bulb moment has happened. A little earlier, you heard me talking to the SARS Commissioner, Edward Kieswetter, about his concerns over the two-pot retirement system and the withdrawal. And that's my question to you today. Are you cashing in? Are you leaving put? Or are you worried about the tax implications? If you have a view on that, please participate in the poll on X or on LinkedIn. And that is our programme for today. MoneyWeb at midday is live at noon weekdays. We're then up as a podcast. Goodbye to you, and thank you for listening.